We are bored. We're all bored now. But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing created by a world totalitarian government based on money, and that all of this is much more dangerous than one thinks, and as much as a question of individual survival, Wally, but that somebody who's bored is asleep, and somebody who's asleep will not say no?
None of us stay the same. Every day, new experiences shape us. We are never truly still, even if we'd like to be. We instinctively chase comfort, whether in relationships, locations, food, careers, or something we rarely acknowledge, our personality. Everything else around us could fall apart, but for many of us, identity is the last thing standing between us and despair. We hold on to it because it feels safe, like an anchor in the chaos. But here's the thing, even our identity isn't permanent. We act like we have some fixed true self, but in reality, we are always shifting. The problem, we don't always allow ourselves to change. Why? Because people already know who we are, who you are. They've built an image of you in their minds, and whether you realize it or not, you've shaped yourself around that expectation. You think if you act differently, more confident, more outspoken, more reserved, it'll feel fake. You'll hear that voice in the back of your head saying, that's not really you. But here's the truth. Choosing to change doesn't mean you're being fake. If I decide to be more confident, does that mean I'm lying to myself? No, because I made that decision. Authenticity isn't about staying the same forever. Authenticity is allowing yourself to evolve. But let's be real, change is terrifying. Not just because of how it feels, but because of how others will react. What will your friends say? Your family? Will they embrace it? Will they resist? Honestly, it doesn't matter. Nothing changes if nothing changes. If you keep living in fear of how others perceive you, you're not living, you're just following a script. You're a prisoner to an image of yourself that you never agreed to uphold. I get it. It's easier to stay the same. It's easier to follow the invisible social rules, to keep acting the way everybody expects. But ask yourself, is it really freedom? Or is it just a comfortable cage? We spend our lives walking eggshells, making sure we don't disrupt the version of ourselves that other people will come to recognize. But what happens when that version starts to feel like a lie? You don't owe anyone your past self. If the people around you can't accept your growth, then they were never really seeing you in the first place. They were seeing who they wanted you to be. And if you're waiting for permission to change, don't. You don't need it. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person who has to live with yourself. Not your friends, not your family, you. So stop clinging to a version of yourself that was never meant to last. Let go. Step forward. Become who you're always meant to be.